Hi guys, welcome to my couch. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. Today I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I was thinking, um, I've been, I've been thinking a lot about death lately. Could it be that I'm old? No, that's not why I'm thinking about it. Uh, my mom passed away last November, and I was lucky enough that I got to go down there with my oldest daughter and see her, spend some time with her before she passed. And she had dementia, and she has had assisted living. She'd been living with my brother, but then she'd been gotten so bad she was at assisted living. And I want to share some things, some stories about that. First of all, we get down there, and she's got good days and bad days, and the thing is, we got down there and she was having a really good day. She recognized us. She couldn't always find the right words, but she recognized Maddie and I, and I got more hugs and snuggles in that 3 days that we were down there than I have in the last 10 years of my life, which was great. But she recognized, we told stories, she chimed in with just words and input and giggles, and then it went downhill from there. She had quit eating, choosing to eat, and so we knew it was, we're on a time scale or limit. So the first day was good. My brother and sister-in-law and my nieces and nieces came in, and we got to spend the day together. And Mom, she lasted pretty long. I mean, it was a good time in the evening before she started getting tired. Then she started going in and out, and we nicknamed her Fretting Frances because she had a real hard time calming down and settling down. She was always like she had to do something, and she was always going, and so she'd get calm and relaxed, and then she'd be and trying to get out of the bed. And it's amazing how much a 70-pound woman, how strong they are, and trying to get out of bed. She couldn't get stand yet because she wasn't strong enough. So we were way back. My oldest was really concerned. We called the priest out. The next day we got there and she was a lot worse. So we called the priest out because we wanted to make sure that he was able to give her last rites. Well, it took a while. It took a long while. So Maddie, being Maddie, decided she was going to get on her phone and she was going to look up last rites, and she was going to give Mom her last rites. If you know Maddie, that it's hilarious that Maddie would do that, but also, yeah, she would. So she gave the last rites, and then a couple hours later, the priest comes in and he he goes, "I'm here to give the last rite." Maddie goes, "Don't worry about it. I've already done it. She's good." And the priest goes, I think I'll do it again." I go, "I think you better." So he gave Mom her last rites, and then he gave her, he says, "I'm going to say a fast track prayer for her." And I'm like, "Okay." And he gave her the fast track prayer. And I looked at him, I go, "Where's my fast track prayer?" He goes, "Okay, Jennifer, I'll give you your fast track." So he gave me. Now, he didn't give me, a pass or a sheet of paper like they do at Kings Island or Disney World. I kind of wanted that because I wanted to be able to move to the top of the line to go to heaven. But I didn't. Just so you know, I didn't get that. So don't ask me for it to see it, because I don't have it. So proceeding that day, Mom was tired, probably from having all of us there the day before. And so we finally got her settled in the room. We struggled with getting hospice there and all that stuff, but that's a whole different story. So Maddie and I spent a lot of time with her, trying to get her calmed down and settled, because she was very agitated. And that evening and the whole next day, she was not vocal anymore. She couldn't speak or verbal. You'd see a glimpse of her in there every now and then, but for the most part, she was gone. But she kept saying, tell me. And what I can only assume it was she wanted to know what it was going to be like when she died. So I would get all of her pictures, you know, her mom and her dad and her brothers and sisters, and bring them to the bed and tell her how beautiful it was going to be, and how they were going to be so happy to see her, and it was going to be like a big party, and she wouldn't hurt anymore, and she would be beautiful and perfect. And then, as is with dementia, she would forget that I said it, and then a few minutes later, or half an hour later, she'd say, tell me, and I would do the same thing and tell her. And we probably went through this, 50 times. And Maddie took some great videos and pictures of us doing this, and I just kept thinking, well, I'm left thinking about after she passed. Of course, we want to know where they go. Are they going to come visit us? And what happens? And what's going to happen when we pass? And are we going to be able to come back and visit our loved ones? And I got to thinking about my upbringing, which I was born and raised Catholic. So I went to a Catholic school, and I know, picture me in a little uniform, but with the tube socks and the high top tennis shoes, and yeah, because I was cool. And you know, the Catholic religion, there's a lot of judging and death and negativity, and me being a very inquisitive, precocious child, I asked a lot of questions and was not the favorite of the nuns by any means, rightfully so. But when I started thinking about the options of what really happens, I mean, do we die, go to heaven, or go to, well, heaven or wherever, and are we judged and told whether we're going to go up and be with the beautiful people in heaven, or are we going to go down and the horned red man is going to punish us until we're better? I don't know. That was an option. Then I thought, okay, what's another option? And another popular one is we just die, that there is nothing left. Now, I always struggled with that one. Even when I was little, people would ask, do you believe in ghosts? And I would say, well, yeah, because we are made of energy, and you know, when we die, it can't just disappear. It's got to go somewhere. So it made sense that the spirits or ghosts would be still out there somewhere if they chose to be. So that was an option. And then the third option that I came up, and I know that there's a lot more, but don't confuse me. 3 is enough. So the third one was reincarnation. I thought, I like that idea. I thought, well, okay, we die, our soul leaves our body, it goes to a place, and all our friends and family are there, and everybody we love, and we sit down with the powers that be, and they talk about our life, and what would you like to change, what do you feel bad about, and at some point, we party and have fun and do what we want to do, and then at some point, if we decide, hey, I want to go back down there, and I want to have another life, and I want to learn more things, and you know, I didn't do a great job at this last life, so I want to go back and work on that. I want to be born into a situation that I can work on that and become a better person or a better soul. So, and I obviously spent a lot of time thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? I choose the third option. I choose that one. And you know what? It's perfectly fine. You can choose. It's your life. You can choose if you want option 1. You can choose option 2. You can choose option 3. Whatever you want. It's your life. It's going to be your death. You choose. But option 3 ticks a lot of questions, answers a lot of questions in my books, and it's nicer, it's gentler, it's not judgy, it's not angry, it helps me not stress and worry about what's going to happen when I die. It makes me not stress and worry about my loved ones when they pass. You know, is it going to be painful? Are they going to be afraid? Or are they going to be, are they going to miss me? I don't have to worry as much. If I think, okay, their physically body dies and their spirit leaves them, their soul leaves them, and it goes on to be with all the people that they've loved in their life, and they can see me and they can participate by watching and seeing their loved ones here still on earth. It's like they're not gone. I don't have to grieve them like I would grieve them if they were just going to be gone forever. Because I don't think that they are. Of course, I don't know everything. You can think that, maybe I do. But I choose that third. That's what I want. So that's how I'm going to live my life. And when my mom passed, I was sad. But I know she's still here. I feel her. I talk to her. You know, when Sadie passed, she passed last April. And if you guys don't know Sadie, Sadie was my heart dog. She was my everything. My best friend. She would go fishing with me. She'd go to Florida with me. We did everything together. And she lived to be 16. Plus, she worked at the gym. She was the gym greeter. She would go and she'd help with classes and greet people when they come in the door. And so and I delivered her from her mom. So we were legitimately, together all the time since she was fresh out of her mama to when she was 16. We probably didn't go longer than 2 days without being together. So that was a really hard one. And in some ways it was harder than my mom passing, because mom had been away for a while and lived in Florida, and I didn't interact with her every day. But I'd also changed a lot in the last 2 years. I was in the process of it when Sadie died, and it was more at the end of it when mom died, enough to start questioning how I feel about things and things that make sense. And I refuse at this point in my life, and obviously I refused at 10 and 11 when I was in the Catholic school, to not question things. If something doesn't ring true, if something doesn't sit well in my gut, I don't buy into it. I'm not gonna say that, well, my parents said this and the church said that and even the Bible said that. I question everything. If it doesn't feel right in my heart and my gut, I question it, as we all should. And I hear a lot of people say, I was at Bob Evans the other day and I had a hankering for bacon. So I said, well, I'm going to go have bacon. I finished teaching my seniors class and went over there and had bacon and eggs, and I was talking to the waitress, and somehow we got on the topic of religion, and she happened to be a lesbian. She had her wife is also a she, and we were talking. And the manager came over and was saying that she was a very devout Christian or Catholic, whichever, and we were somehow talking about the Bible and interpretations of the Bible. And I've always felt that there's stories that were carried down and men copied them and changed them, and I won't go into all that today because I just don't believe 100% that that's exactly what God meant. And of course the waitress said, you know, in my life, she said, I agree that it's not, that God didn't mean that, because he wouldn't be that way. He wouldn't be so judgmental because I'm a good person and I shouldn't go to hell because of who I love. And the other the manager said, no, God said this. God meant that. And the book was written by God. And it's like, we need to question those things, because what if proof comes out that that's not true? How are we gonna, how are people gonna handle it? How are you gonna handle it? If you find out something that puts in question everything that you've believed in your whole life, how are you gonna handle that? If you've never questioned it before, are you gonna collapse? Are you gonna fall apart? Or are you gonna figure out the solution that works best for you? Because you've thought it out and you figured it out. You know, not because this is what I was taught, and this is what my mom told me, and this is what my dad told me, and this is what my grandparents told me, and this is what the church told me. What do you believe? What do you think is the right thing for you? I know we've all got those questions, and some of them will never get answered. But don't blindly accept everything. And the same thing, hey, you guys, quit. Don't blindly accept everything that the government says. Oh, for God's sakes, can't do that. I don't want to be this would be a tangent on the government, but it comes down to, come here, buddy. You guys want to be, hi, Lucy. I'm busy. I'm busy. I know, you're a good girl. With the world the way it is right now, things are crazy. Don't buy into everything. Don't listen to everything. Don't think that, I mean, right now, I can pretty well be safe to say that the government does not have our best interest at heart. They're not looking out for you and for me. They're looking out for themselves and the powers that be, the big people. So we need to question, and we need to say, does that ring true with me? Do I believe that? Is that what I want to be, or how I want to act? And if the answer is no, say no. And you do you. It's your life. Take control. It's your life. It's your death. It's your life. And one last note. You know, I own a fitness center, and I'm happy to talk about any questions regarding fitness, business, anything, small business, anything. So just ask me questions. But I was at a class the other night, and we were talking about health insurance and bills, and companies trying to screw you, basically, and how it takes so much time and research to get down to the bottom of what is really going on with your own finances, with your own healthcare, with your own bills. And a lot of companies do that because they don't think you're going to have the time. And most people don't have the time because they're so busy working to pay for those things that they shouldn't have to pay for to begin with. Well, I was talking to this group, and the person that said this, I love them. They're awesome. And I don't think they thought about what they said. And they said, remember, you can't fix everybody else's problems. Their problems are not yours. You know, you need to worry about yourself and your problems, and don't worry about other people and their problems. And at first, my gut reaction was, oh yeah, I know. And then I drove home, and I was thinking about it all night, and I thought about today, and I thought, that's why the world is like it is. Because we don't worry about, we do only worry about ourselves. What's best for us? You know, we vote because what's going to put the most money in our pocket, not what's going to take care of the most people. And I am not a bleeding heart, and I firmly believe that people need to work and raise their own money, and they shouldn't take advantage of the system at all. I understand. But the world is in the situation that we're in now is because we don't help take care of each other. We don't love and respect each other. And it's time. It's only going to get worse if we don't change things. You know, with AI and computers and cell phones, and we're so in our own little world that if it doesn't directly affect us in some way, we don't care about it, or we don't even know it exists because we're just so busy running around in our little bubble. It's time for you guys, all of us, to look outside of our bubble, because the longer you stay in that little perfect little bubble that you've built, which is great for you, but it's making the world a worse place. We need to care about those other people too, because ultimately it all comes down to us. But I know that you guys are awesome, and I love having you here on my couch. And I'm sorry that today was kind of a downer. I would have liked to talk next week. I promise. I was going to do it a little bit today, but next week, I have a slight dependency or addiction to reading smut, and I kind of want to address that and talk about it. But I'd like to hear some feedback from you guys about what you want me to talk about pertaining to smut, because I can get a little carried away, and this might not be a PG thing. It might be a R-rated if you let me go to my extreme. So ask me questions if you want to keep me in boundaries. Otherwise, I might just go nuts. I might educate you a lot, because I'll tell you what, I can't be shocked anymore. I've been reading. I love to read, always have, but I love fantasy books. So I started reading romantic fantasy, and then it got into, there's always some smut. Then the smut got a little bit, then I became a connoisseur on the smut. And I was talking to a friend, I said, during my partial retirement is when I was talking about this. I need to become a smut book editor. I have the highlighter, I have the red pen, because I'm gonna tell you, really, some of those sex scenes are just bad. They're bad. When I have to fast through them just to get back to the story, you know it's bad. Or it's like cut and paste. They're gonna take this little sex scene and they're gonna put it in this, and then they're gonna put it in this, and they're gonna put it the same thing, the same order. It's like, I have that in real life, that same boring, monotonous. I want something new. I want to hear something different, something creative. So I've been reading smut for about five years, and I read about 3 books a week. So I have a plethora of information and knowledge on smut. So just so you know, next week I think we'll talk a little bit more about that. But right now I'm going to snuggle with little Lucy Lou, and I will talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.